start this video here. It's still the same night. If you was watching my previous video, I haven't left that Aldi's place yet. I want to show what it's like because it started storming pretty good here. You might already see it a little bit. But you see that rocking? Let's see. Wait for the wind to blow. I'm not doing that. That's just me, my body stabilizing itself because the truck rocks. It's actually more than I even noticed because I'm so used to it. I got my sea legs. Truck around a lot. It's oop. I almost stopped it too soon there. That was a good example of it. I know it's raining, but I know you don't like it. You don't like the rain. Anyway, just wanted to show that in case you ever wondered. They're not very stable in the rain. If you've ever stayed in a camper trailer, it's worse than that because we're on airbags. So that wind doesn't have much to resist it. So when that wind blows, it just raining pretty good out there. You see the curtains moving? Oh, they stopped. Let's see. I'm getting out of here now. I've been on their property for a total of 1 hour and 30 minutes. That is such a freaking relief, because that means I can sneak over there across the street. If there's a place to park, there should be something, I hope. I can get about 7 or 8 hours of sleep and go pick up this next load. Oh, she's gonna come out to me. What a doll. I would have came into you so you didn't have to get wet.
Oh, that's okay. You have a good day.
You too, thanks. I got to get out of the truck anyway and close my doors. But it's nice if it would come out. She didn't have to do that. Believe me, you'd be surprised. A lot of them, like, are extremely lazy. Some of those security guards, like, they won't do nothing. Some of them are great. Some of them will get out and close your door, close your doors for you and stuff. Not that I asked for that, but it's noticeable when you do stuff like that. It's like, wow, that's above and beyond, man. I'll listen for it on the playback when I'm editing, but if you heard that big bang just now, big gust of wind came by right as I unchained the door from the trailer and went to close it, and it ripped it out of my hand and slammed that door shut. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that or not. Those doors are, I think they're 9 feet tall and 3 feet wide. And they weigh something like 300 pounds. Whew. And the wind grabs a hold of them things. If it's really blowing, you ain't stopping it. The first time that ever happened to me, I was a rookie, and I tried to stop it, and it drugged me 5 feet before throwing me on the ground. So now I'm pretty good at letting that sucker go. If the wind's gonna take it, it's gonna take it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ooh, lot looks fairly empty. You say there's guys parked this way, right? There's spaces available. I'll just back in over here. See if I care. I was not paying attention. I'll back in over there. That is dumpster. This one is not. I'll send my empty call and then I'll be able to get a couple of hours of shut eye. And now that I'm not sick anymore, I'm right back to good old insomnia days. I'm getting around to that point, tossing and turning and fighting to go to sleep, that if I don't fall asleep in the next hour or so, I'll just give up altogether and stay up. Got about 5 hours left before I gotta roll anyway. I think I got a total of 45 minutes of sleep. And I don't know what crawled up Hirschback's butt, man, because the next couple days are scheduled the same thing, same way that the last couple days were, where basically as soon as this next load delivers in Carthage, they've got me scheduled to be in Springdale, like right off a 10-hour break. I don't mean that I have to roll right up to 10-hour break, that I'd have to be there right after 10-hour break, so I'll be late when I get there. And then it's got to be in Memphis at 5 a.m. and then Goodlettsville the next morning, Tennessee. Oh, it'd just be nice to not have everything so damn tight. Trailer's not dirty, but I have not had good luck with cheese, like dairy places, and not having a washout receipt. So there was nothing in my load information that indicated that I needed a washout receipt. It just said, you know, no blood, it has to be clean. We'll see. It's like half of them I've ever been to, they're real strict about it. Half of them aren't, so we'll see. Running a little bit behind, but they're loading me right away, so it's all good. Oh. I thought I was gonna maybe get a little bit more of a nap in here. Well, maybe I can if I set an alarm for like an hour and check on this light, because I gotta wait for the light. When the light turns green, I gotta go in and get my bills. Started this clip because they immediately started loading it.
Well, tell me if you could sleep through this when they actually hit the trailer again. I'll edit out the in-between, because you never know when they're going to hit it a second time. It could be right away, it could be 20 minutes. You never know. That was a pretty gentle one. If they're all like that, it's really no big problem. Oh, there we go. There you get the dot like you meant it.
This thing after I get fuel, because it's pretty close to the limit there. What are you doing? Why did you use the freaking cat scale to get through the truck stop? My patience runs a little thin when I haven't gotten a lot of rest. I got the tandems all the way forward and we're still pretty close to the limit on the drives. So I'm gonna get fuel here. I'm gonna get like 80 gallons, and that'll get me to like 3/4 of a tank. You know what? I'll just fill it up. I'll just fill it up, and let's see where the next weigh station is. I've got like 250 miles for the next weigh station, so I'm gonna fill it up, and I'll burn off enough fuel to, by the time I get to the next weigh station, I should be legal. I'm gonna weigh it anyway, and hopefully it'll be legal when I'm done here. Alright, we got enough fuel here. Get down the road a ways. We need to run across the scale one more time. See how we're looking. Because just for peace of mind. I just showed my weigh ticket there. The limit for me, because I have a permit for an extra 250 pounds on any axle, because I have an auxiliary power unit, which is the generator. So I have a permit for a little extra weight. So I'm really only over 130 pounds. And I'm just over 300 miles, probably really only over 400 miles before I hit an open scale, because that scale that's closest is never open, but there's a chance. But it's almost 280 miles or something between here and that scale. I will burn well enough fuel to get under that limit by the time we get to that weigh station. If I can ever get out of the truck stop, heck, I might burn 5 gallons sitting here waiting to get out of here. It's a busy old truck stop. Anyway, I'm not that worried about it. As long as I'm under 4250. Sorry. My mind just went blank on what the damn limit is. 34. Right. Jesus Christ. That happens every now and then, you just brain farts. Anyway, the limit is 34. My limit is 34,250. That's because I have a permit for 250 pounds, and it can be on any axle. It could be on the steers, drives, trailer, whatever. Mine's on the drives. I will burn that off in fuel. So I got close to the Indiana line there. I'm in Indiana now. And I just kind of hit a wall. I was talking on the phone with the wife, so didn't record me pulling into this rest area. But I'm about 610 miles from Carthage. And if I roll out of here tomorrow morning, I can get down to Carthage tomorrow afternoon and be there ready to deliver the next morning. And then, I'm very tired, so I might ramble a little bit and have to edit a bunch of this out. And my dog is losing his mind because it's ready for dinner and he's tired of waiting on me. Don't you kiss my face. Don't you kiss my face. I don't like it. Anyway, we've had a long couple of days and he's tired too because when I get kept up, he kind of gets kept up for me jacking around in the truck. Just being genuinely annoying, and he gets a little frustrated. Wrestles. What? Attitude. Anyway, that's the plan. I'm gonna crawl back there, maybe watch a movie. If I can make it through a whole movie. I doubt it. I'm pretty freaking beat. And get somewhere around 8 or 10 hours of sleep tonight because I'm tired. Get up tomorrow morning. Morning. A little cubby hole there. I called ahead and my receiver has a big staging lot. And I asked if I showed up sometime tonight if they'd let me park there until my appointment. And they're like, yeah, no problem. I was like, perfect. So I actually went back to sleep for a little bit because now I don't need to take another break before I go in. I could just go in and wait for my load to get delivered. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I slept 12 hours. I was exhausted. I went to bed. I didn't even make it through one movie. And I fell asleep and I woke up like 10 and a half hours later. I woke up, gave the receiver a call. They said I could come in and park there until my appointment. Went back to sleep for like another hour. So I got good rest. So 610 miles to do today to get down to Carthage. I'm gonna try to hold off on getting fuel until I get somewhere close to Springfield, Missouri. That way I know I'm good on my weights because my load's heavy. But I'm gonna go take this guy out for a walk before we get rolling. Hi, buddy. We gonna go for a walk? We gonna go for a walk? Huh? Chin chin, chinny chin. Anyway, that's the plan today. 610 or so miles. Light snow this morning. I'm really getting tired of weather apps not being accurate at all. There showed no chance of snow. There was a chance of rain. It rained the last couple days. There was no indication that I was going to get snow up there. I'm using the Weather Channel app, National Weather, NOAA Weather, and there's snow this morning. It's light snow, so I'm not that worried about it. But still, like I should have known there was snow coming because I look it up every day on my phone to make sure I look into the forecast. It's just constantly incorrect. changed my mind because I don't want to drive through St. Louis during the day. I've dealt with enough idiots today cutting me off and tailgating me and stuff. I cannot stand driving during the day, especially through a busy city like St. Louis if I can avoid it. And I'm in a place now that if I roll off a 10-hour break or even 11-hour break, I'll make it to Carthage an hour or 2 hours early and still have enough time when I'm done at Carthage to go get washed out and get parked down in Springdale, as long as it won't interfere with the next delivery. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to park here because I don't want to drive through St. Louis. I'm 35 miles from St. Louis and traffic was already picking up pretty heavy. My wife bought me this for Christmas and it worked really well. It's an air purifier because in this small little space, sharing it with the dog, dander gets everywhere. Every time he shakes his head, anything like that, dander goes all over the truck. And this thing was doing a really good job of controlling it and sucking it up and capturing it instead of letting it get all over the truck. But that is a bit of a design flaw. And that is that its power cable plugs in like this instead of being hardwired. So after about a month, or not even a month, half a month, you know, it getting jostled around in the truck, at some point it messed up the connection on the inside. So it'll only run if you like press it in at a certain angle or something, so it won't run. So I'm taking it apart to see if I can't figure out how it's connected to try to get it to work again. It'll be a pretty easy fix. It's a hot and a ground attached to a chipboard that's really not really a chipboard, it's so much as a connector. So it just transfers the power from this to this type of connection. So all I have to do is cut the end off here. Oops, cut that end off and cut this end off and hot wire them together so that they stay together, because all the power controls and stuff would be on this front chipboard, which you could make, yeah, that one there. This is just a power conversion. There's no capacitors or anything like that. So yeah, it's just a way to transfer one type of connection to another. So I just cut this end off, and try to figure out which one is hot and which one's ground, and then wire them together, and that should fix my problem. I'll have it, it'll be hardwired at that point, and I won't have to fight with it no more. It'll just stay on. Now, history of doing stuff like this tells me, and I don't have a power detector, that the wire with the gray stripe will be the ground on this end, and the black wire on this one will be the ground. So if I wire those two together, plug it in, it should work. Now, the only risk here is that I wire it up backwards and I plug it in and it blows some kind of a circuit in there and then becomes a rock. But right now it doesn't work at all anyway, so I might as well try to fix it. And if I break it, I break it, because it's already broken. So hopefully I don't break it, that'd be nice. But I think what I'm gonna do will work. We'll give it a shot. Time to start chopping wires. See what I can do. A little trick I'd use when I'm gonna wipe this camera off. I see a little bit of a fog there. Okay. When I am cutting, when I'm splicing wires together, right? First of all, you want to cut it to where if you decide you want that end back, you can rewire it. So you don't want to cut it up here where you don't have any wires left. Just to fix my mistake, if I decide that I just want to replace that chipboard instead, give myself a little room to reconnect the wires if I have to. So that's one little trick. The other trick is, once you get these wires separated here, you want to cut one, whichever one, a little shorter than the other. What that does is when I'm wiring these things together, and on the other side I'll do the same, only I'll leave this one longer and this one shorter. That way when you're splicing them together, there's zero chance that the wires can short out, because they'll be right next to, the splices will be right next to factory wire conduit. Now, when you're splicing the wire, you're stripping the wire, you don't want to strip too much, just enough that you can get a good connection and cover it up. Also, don't use your teeth to splice wire, but I've done it my whole life. I watched my dad do the same thing, and it's just kind of, I cut it first and then I pull it off with my teeth. Alright, so which one did I cut short? Because I wasn't paying attention here. I cut the gray one long and the power one short. So on this one, do the opposite. I'll do the gray one short and the power one long. And again, you want to leave yourself a little room, that way if you decide you want to reuse this connection, you can, and it won't be a big problem. Also, I want to be able to put this on, so I have to be able to put it on or the thing won't function. It has to seal up. So I'm going to run the wires through this hole before I splice them together. And then once it's ran through the hole, to help protect the connection, I'm going to tie this wire into a knot so that it can't, I guess 2 knots, because that hole's pretty big. Just make the knot big enough that where the wire can't slip back through this hole. That way if it falls or something, it won't pull on the connection. There we go. Got a nice little knot there. See, it won't pull out anymore. Alright. Use this other knife, it's a little sharper than that other one. So on that one, I left the gray one long, so I need to cut the black one here shorter. There we go. And then splice it or strip it. When I'm stripping it, I want to make sure that the strip part doesn't go, it's hard to see there. If you can see it, I'll zoom in editing. When I'm stripping it, I want to make sure it doesn't go down to where this wire is open. So that way I have no chance of the thing connecting and shorting out. So the last thing I need is a freaking electronic device catching fire and shorting out while I'm going down the highway. That would not be great. That would really suck. So, and yes, I would rather, if I had a soldering gun, solder these connections so that they'd be really, really secure and safe and solid. But I've done this dozens of times. I've had to, tinker with stuff that I bought and that didn't work after a use or two. Because I have really bad luck when it comes to products, man. Stuff just breaks. I'm not harder on it than anybody else, but I don't know if it's just luck or if everything is just crap, right? Like, they don't build anything to be resistant to anything. So, I've got it connected. I'm going to temporarily put this cover on. Just kind of near it, and I'm going to plug it in and see if it works. I'll point it back there. Before I put it all back together, I want to plug it in and make sure it works. Yep. Works just fine. So now I'll finish it up. Back on. It's a bit of a tricky biscuit. I'll put all the screws back in and we'll be done. It's better than buying a $40, replacing a $40 air cleaner. I just take, I think 20 minutes. I was able to fix it by getting rid of these stupid connectors and hardwiring it. Perfect. Now I can just put it back together and enjoy. 'Cause it really does work well. It has a really decent filter. You can see I've only used it for a month. You can see how much dander and stuff it's collected. And that all that dander is not floating around in the truck. And it's not been used for a couple of days, and the truck is floating around dog fur and dander and stuff. So if you're another truck driver and you have a dog and you have that same issue of pet dander, get yourself a little portable air purifier, because it sure worked. Because it immediately reduced the amount of dog dander floating around in my truck. Uh-oh. It wasn't making that noise before. Something got in there and is touching that fan. That sucks. Bummer. I'm gonna have to take it back apart, figure out what's touching that fan. Good thing is I know how to take it apart this time. So there's like 4 screws that I took out the first time that were unnecessary because I didn't know how it came apart yet. It's got a counterweight because it's a run quiet machine, so all I got to do is trim this tape back. Let's see, what did I do with my pocket knife? It's easy enough fix. Just trim this tape back a little bit, and it should be fine. Alright, let's test it one more time. No more noise. Throw the screws back in, and I'm actually done this time. It works fine. Always unplug things when you're working on them, even if you're doing something like putting a cover on, because electricity hurts, man. And it's just a good habit. And if I'm working on stuff and the fan's going and I drop a screw down in there, you know, if it's not running, of course, I have to do is take it apart again and get the screw out. If it is running, I could damage it. So it's just a good idea. If you're working on stuff, make sure it's unplugged, because it's just a good habit to be in. You never want to. It's like when you're, you know, gun safety stuff, right? You do stuff when you're handling guns redundant, right? You make sure you're being safe, even if you know you've done something or you think you have. You check it anyway, right? You double check, you triple check, whatever you got to do. Same thing with electricity. You assume that wires are always hot, you know, things like that. Got to be careful when you're playing with electrical stuff. Functions perfectly. All the features work fine. Worth the effort. By the way, I'm sure that thing was still under Amazon warranty. But why would I send it in to get a replacement if it's just going to do the same thing? And what I did definitely voided the warranty. But I'm willing to bet it'll work fine for a long, way beyond its warranty time now, because it has no other failing point other than the computer chips and stuff. So I think it'll be fine. Oofta. You wonder why truckers wear hats. Because I don't have time to get up and go take a shower every morning, brush my hair in front of the mirror. Oh, now I can't find my hat. Where's my hat? Oh, it's right there. That's all better. I'll never have to give him verbal commands. I've always trained my dogs to operate off of a click and a point or something like that.
be yelling at my dog all the time. Whew.
I'm not a great vlogger and you missed it, but that's the second time I've had to use a screwdriver in the last 2 months to break a glad hand lock. Some of these new trailers, engineers for some reason rearrange the glad hand connectors to where you can put a lock on it, but it's like impossible to get them off. You can't get a key. He broke the key trying to get it off, and the key was in it, so we tried to get it open with the key in it. Still couldn't do that. I was like, I can break the lock off because I mean it's screwed now anyway. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, that's plastic, man. So I just went and grabbed a screwdriver and popped it out, broke it in like 5 pieces to get it off there. One of these days I'll get better about grabbing my camera when there's stuff going on, but it does feel awkward to, grab a video camera, at a shipper or receiver and put it in people's face. But yeah, it's just funny. It's like the second time in 2 months I've had to break a glad hand lock because somebody did something stupid. The logical thing to do in that situation, if you notice how tight that is, would be to put the glad hand lock on the hose instead of the trailer, because then you can get it back off, But, it's not the first time that's happened, and it probably won't be the last. Because they re-engineered this stuff. Like, you gotta love engineers. They just do random stuff. For, like, decades now, it's been, you got your service brake glad hand, you got your pigtail connector for the electrical, and then you got your supply brake, which is the red hose. And they put the glad hand lock on the supply because you can't disengage the brakes without the red supplying air to the brakes. And now they have them, you have the supply or you have the service brake and the supply brake air side by side, and then the electrical glad hand or electrical pigtail connector in between, like right up against the red. So, and it's just close enough that they can't get a lock and a key in there. But they got the lock in there, you just can't get the key in there to get it out. But I did ask, and they gave me permission to park here. So I can start with a fresh clock. I'm gonna park over here where these guys are, and then tonight I'll go get this thing washed out, go grab that load and head to Memphis. Baby,